Imagine waking up 30,000 years ago. No phones, no cities, no schools, no jobs, just a small tribe trying to survive one more day. Now here's a question almost nobody dares to ask. If there was no entertainment, no social media, no movies, no television, did ancient humans spend all of their free time having sex? It's a surprisingly common belief. Movies suggest it, memes joke about it, and many people simply assume it must be true. But what if almost everything you've been told is wrong? Because archaeology, evolutionary biology, and the lives of modern hunter-gatherer tribes tell a completely different story. The real answer isn't just about sex. It's about survival, about pregnancy, about disease, about raising children, and about the hidden rules that helped humans avoid extinction. So, were our ancestors really having sex all the time? Or have we misunderstood prehistoric life completely? Let's go back 30,000 years and find out what really happened. So, was it true? At first, the idea almost makes sense. Think about it. No emails, no deadlines, no Netflix, no video games, no endless scrolling on a phone. If modern life disappeared overnight, what would you do with all that free time? Many people imagine prehistoric humans had very little to do. They hunted once in a while, ate whatever they found, and spent the rest of the day relaxing. But that picture comes from modern imagination, not from science. Imagine the first light of dawn breaking across the Ice Age landscape. The temperature is close to freezing. You don't wake up because you're comfortable. You wake up because your fire is almost dead. Without fire, there is no warm meal, no protection from predators, no easy way to survive the cold. Before the sun has fully risen, the entire group already has work to do. Someone searches for firewood, someone checks yesterday's hunting trail, others repair broken stone tools. Animal skin clothing must be stitched before the next storm arrives. Water has to be collected. Children must be watched every moment. Even a small injury could become life-threatening. And that's before anyone has found breakfast. For prehistoric humans, survival wasn't something that happened once a week. It was a full-time job, every single day, which raises an important question. If life was already this difficult, where did the idea come from that our ancestors spent all their free time having sex? The answer has less to do with ancient humans and much more to do with us. For decades, movies, television shows, and cartoons have portrayed prehistoric people as wild, impulsive, and driven only by instinct. It's entertaining, but entertainment isn't evidence. When archaeologists uncover ancient campsites, they don't find signs of chaos. They find carefully built fireplaces, organized living spaces, stone tools repaired again and again instead of being thrown away, and evidence that families cared for injured or elderly members who could not survive alone. These discoveries reveal something unexpected. Ancient humans weren't simply trying to reproduce. They were trying to build lives. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because the real question isn't, did ancient humans have sex? Of course they did. Without it, none of us would be here. The real mystery is, how did they balance reproduction with the constant struggle to stay alive? And that answer is far more fascinating than the myth. To understand what prehistoric life was really like, you have to understand one simple fact. For ancient humans, having a baby wasn't just a personal decision. It was one of the biggest survival challenges a tribe could face. Imagine you're living 30,000 years ago. There are no hospitals, no doctors, no antibiotics, no baby formula, no grocery stores. Every piece of food must be hunted, gathered, or carried back to camp. Now imagine one woman becomes pregnant. Suddenly, she can't run as fast during a hunt. Long journeys become harder. Heavy loads become more difficult to carry. And after the baby is born, the challenges have only just begun. Unlike a baby deer, which can stand within hours, a human baby is completely helpless. For years, it depends on adults for food, warmth, and protection. Anthropologists believe this is one of the reasons humans became such cooperative creatures. Raising one child often required help from many people: parents, grandparents, older brothers and sisters, even other adults in the group. In many hunter-gatherer societies studied today, childcare is often shared because one exhausted parent cannot do everything alone. And that changes how we think about relationships. If every pregnancy demanded years of care, would it make sense for people to spend all of their time pursuing new partners? Or would stability, trust, and cooperation become far more valuable? Many evolutionary biologists argue that long-term pair bonds became increasingly important as human children evolved to need longer childhoods. That doesn't mean every prehistoric society looked exactly the same. Some groups likely had different customs. Scientists still debate many details, but one thing is clear: children were humanity's greatest investment. Every child represented the future of the tribe. Losing even a few children during harsh winters, disease outbreaks, or periods of famine could threaten the survival of an entire community. That's why daily life wasn't centered around constant romance. It was centered around keeping everyone alive long enough for the next generation to grow up. But another mystery remains. If ancient humans weren't spending all their time searching for partners, how did they actually choose them? Did love exist? Did people marry for life? Or were relationships completely different from anything we know today? The answers may surprise you. So, how did ancient humans actually choose a partner? The truth is, no one knows every detail, because people living 30,000 years ago left behind no written records. But archaeology, evolutionary biology, genetics, and studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies allow scientists to piece together part of the story. And what they found challenges another popular myth. Many people imagine prehistoric men fighting endlessly over women, or people constantly changing partners. But evidence suggests that human relationships were often far more stable than movies make them appear. Why? Because trust had value. Imagine you're leaving camp to hunt for days. The people staying behind will protect your children, share food, and help your family survive. That only works if a community is built on cooperation, not constant conflict. Scientists also believe humans evolved to form strong emotional bonds. Unlike many mammals, human children require care for more than a decade. That long childhood may have encouraged parents to stay together longer than many other species. Of course, not every relationship lasted forever. Just like today, people were different, cultures were different, and customs likely varied from tribe to tribe. There wasn't one universal rule for all prehistoric humans. Some societies may have practiced long-term pair bonding. Others may have been more flexible. Researchers still debate many details, but almost no serious anthropologist believes prehistoric life was one endless cycle of sex. In fact, there was another problem that ancient humans had to think about: disease. Long before modern medicine, people faced infections, parasites, and dangerous illnesses. Scientists believe sexually transmitted infections have existed in humans for thousands of years, although their history is complex and many details are still being studied. That means reproduction always carried risks, not just rewards. And there was another limit that modern people often forget: energy. The human body only has so much energy each day. Every hour spent hunting, building shelter, collecting water, making tools, or protecting children was an hour spent keeping the tribe alive. Survival always came first, which leads to one final question. If our ancestors weren't obsessed with sex, why do so many people today believe they were? The answer has more to do with modern culture than with ancient history. So, why do so many people imagine prehistoric humans as being obsessed with sex? Part of the answer comes from storytelling. For decades, movies, television, advertisements, and even comedy have portrayed ancient humans as little more than wild people driven by instinct. It's a simple idea, easy to understand, easy to laugh at, but real history is almost never that simple. The archaeological record tells a different story. Instead of finding evidence of a life built around constant pleasure, scientists find signs of planning, carefully made stone tools, fireplaces that were used again and again, shelters built to survive harsh weather, long-distance trade of valuable materials, art painted deep inside caves, burials that suggest people mourned their dead. These discoveries reveal something extraordinary. Ancient humans weren't simply surviving from one day to the next. They were building cultures, sharing knowledge, teaching children, creating traditions, and solving problems together. That's what made our species different. Not incredible strength, not sharp claws, not giant teeth, but cooperation. The ability to work together, to plan ahead, and to care for one another. Even our closest living relatives, chimpanzees, spend much of their day searching for food, maintaining social relationships, and avoiding conflict. Early humans faced even greater challenges: Ice Age winters, predators, injuries, starvation. Every decision mattered. Of course, sex was still an important part of life. Without reproduction, humanity would never have survived. But reducing prehistoric life to "they had sex all the time" ignores almost everything that actually kept them alive. Their greatest challenge wasn't finding entertainment. It was making sure there would still be a tribe when the next winter arrived. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson our ancestors left behind. The strongest humans weren't always the fastest or the bravest. They were often the ones who could cooperate, protect their families, raise the next generation, and adapt to a changing world. So, the next time someone says, "ancient humans had nothing to do except have sex," remember this. The evidence tells a far more fascinating story. They weren't masters of leisure. They were masters of survival. And because they survived, we're here today. Thanks for watching.